Oh, hello there. Studying AQA, GCSE English Language, Paper 2, and keen to get higher marks for Section B. In this video, I'm going to help you do exactly that, looking at how to write a perfect letter to a newspaper editor. Get higher marks, stay tuned. This is Schofield on Shakespeare.
Simili a degli eroi, abbiamo il cuore a strisce, portaci dove vuoi.
We're aiming for this, of course: mature, engaging tone, beautifully written, genuinely crafted.
Before we look at the exam question, let's read through some actual letters to the editor. Press pause on each one as it appears on screen. Read, take notes, think. So, what are the features of letters to a newspaper editor? Well, as we've seen, it depends slightly on the newspaper. However, I have drawn up the 5 points on screen now. So here's the exam question from June 2019. It is people who have extraordinary skill, courage and determination who deserve to be famous, not those who have good looks or lots of money or behave badly. Write a letter to the editor of a newspaper in which you argue your point of view in response to this statement. You've seen previous examples of letters to the editor. Now have a go at writing your own. Press pause to get going. Hopefully you've produced a really good response. However, I'm now going to show you the first sentence of every paragraph within my model answer. Consider and discuss how the tone is created and think about how the initial idea might be developed in the rest of each paragraph. Go on then, press pause now. Time now to look at my model response in full. Sir, further to your feature article on the evolution of celebrity culture, I'm writing to provide an alternative viewpoint. The article made reference to the celebrity Russell Brand, a former darling of the left-wing media, who is now facing a series of rape charges. The argument was clear. Brand's success in the 1990s and 2000s was due to his willingness to shock and court any kind of publicity. He became famous largely due to his brazen willingness to insult and provoke, and not due to his limited ability as a comedian. The article implied that Brand's success as a vacuous, limited non-entity was representative of 1990s celebrity culture, with the implication being that this contributed to a more superficial, frothy, and in some cases, including Brand's, toxic society. The pompous implication seemed to be that such individuals should not be permitted to be famous. Whilst I have no time for disgusting creatures such as Russell Brand, I found this argument dishearteningly disingenuous and oversimplistic. Firstly, since when has there been a link between fame and merit? There are links between hard work and success, between regular exercise and fitness, but between fame and merit? What piffle! What nonsense! The majority of people who court fame are simply attention seekers who are prepared to do and say whatever it takes in order to make others sit up and pay attention. Russell Brand is one example, but there are countless others out there, including Andrew Tate, Katie Price, and even Donald Trump. All of us know that such people have no particular skill, no particular courage, and are determined only in so much as they will do anything to draw attention to themselves. Hence Tate's inflammatory statements about the manosphere, Price's bewildering number of breast augmentation procedures, and Trump's ridiculous comments about tariffs. However, these people deserve to be famous because they both divide and intrigue us. Such individuals do not care about whether they are liked or not, they simply want to be talked about. Thus, they make concerted efforts to be interesting. Take Andrew Tate, for instance. During many of his social media videos, he can be seen spouting angry nonsense about boys being unfairly marginalised and girls preferring cavemen. Is it true? Of course not. However, it contains grains of truth, with the net result being that politicians and teachers feel compelled to denounce him, which only serves to make him even more popular and relevant amongst his target audience. As curious as it sounds, such a man deserves to be famous. He is fulfilling the job criteria perfectly, which is to get as many people as possible talking about him. Whether this feedback is positive or negative is immaterial. The conclusion to your feature article argued that fame should be reserved for the worthy, for those who make a genuine, long-lasting difference to their communities, for the teachers who transform lives, for the doctors and nurses who save lives, for the street cleaners who work tirelessly to make sure our children live within clean, decent neighbourhoods. Whilst this sounds lovely, it entirely misses the point. Such individuals do important work, but they themselves, with a few noble exceptions, are boring. For someone to be famous, we need to be interested enough in them to see and hear them repeatedly. Teachers, doctors, nurses and street cleaners are rightly rewarded for their work every year at a special service in Westminster Abbey. A senior member of the royal family will turn up, usually Kate, and shake their hands. Their stories will be distilled into feel-good 2-minute segments for those watching the programme on television at home. But 2 minutes is enough. Please don't remove celebrity status from our bad boys and girls. Life could be dull enough at the best of times. Yours, Christian Schofield. Before we dissect this model response, a useful interlude. Can you spot the spelling errors within these 3 sentences on screen? Press pause to get thinking. OMG! With writing, we're not referencing the former darts world champion snakebite. Writing is spelled W-R-I-T-I-N-G. Disingenuous? Well, it's got a U after the G-E-N. Whoopsie! Fulfilling is double L in the filling bit. Silly me. Some thoughts on this response. Note the immediate reference to something previously published in the newspaper. As this is for a GCSE exam rather than a real newspaper, I go into far more detail when summarising the key points in this previous article. This gives me some specific things to argue against. Note the complex sentence structure shown on screen in blue, which helps highlight my more complex position. Whilst I do want Brand to face justice, my overall argument is about the nature of celebrity and whether there should be any expectations for celebrities to do good things with capital G and T. In this paragraph, note how I incorporate more of the words from the question statement. Keep coming back to the statement. Keep developing your initial points. The mark scheme is looking for writing to be compelling, incorporating a range of convincing and complex ideas. I do this here by aiming to provide an updated, detailed definition of what it means to be a celebrity in the modern world, which I then use to further my argument. The mark scheme also requires extensive and ambitious use of vocabulary. This is seen throughout, but here in words such as marginalise, compelled, and denounce. But do make sure that your complex words actually work within your context. If this is something you know you struggle with, you need to read more. In relation to the requirement to incorporate a range of convincing and complex ideas, note that I avoid passing judgment on tape myself. I simply set up my definition of what is required to be famous, to be entertaining, interesting, and to be talked about, and apply it to his case. Within these longer letters to the newspaper, you need to incorporate more facts, which can be made up, than would be the case in a real shorter letter to a newspaper. I do this here by referencing an annual service in Westminster Abbey, which is televised. With all of these non-fiction text types, letters, speeches, articles, the final sentences need to be punchy and summative. This is the case here, as I beseech the editor not to remove celebrity status from our bad boys and girls. Why? Life can be dull enough at the best of times.
This has been a Schofield on Shakespeare production, helping you get higher marks for AQA GCSE English Language Paper 2, Section B. Many thanks for watching.